What's good, everybody? What's happening? This your boy, AMB, back with another episode of Flawless Fantasy Football. Hey, today is June 7th, 2022. I just felt led to drop this video, something that hit me near and dear to my heart. And I want to do this from time to time. I don't know. I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm going to do it on a certain time or whatever. It's just going to, whenever it resonates with me, I'm going to drop one of these type of videos. You know, I have so many memories, things good and bad that's happened in fantasy football that I've experienced since the mid-90s when I was just playing on paper in Okinawa, Japan in the military, from actually starting in 2001, where I actually started sandbox.com in an 8-man league and it built up to a 10 to a 12. But so many things has happened, good and bad, a lot of funny things. And with fantasy football, as we know, some things that'll bring you high and some things that'll bring you down, you know. So, but today, it was a refreshing story and one that was near and dear to my heart, and I wanted to let you guys know about. You know, see, but I first wanted to say, this is your first time, and if you're getting the content out of this video, press like, hit the comments, let me know what you think about the video. I appreciate that, you know, us going back and forth, you know, let me know what you thought about the video. You know, that means a lot. I like to get to the comments. All right, but today's story is about Cecil Shorts. A lot of people in the fantasy community, you know, they have a hard time with drafting someone or picking up someone and playing them on your roster without seeing the blow up, you know, and that's something that I'm gonna try to specialize in. In my first season last year, being a fantasy football content creator here on YouTube, I'm trying to help people see things before they happen, almost kind of like prophesize it, you know. So it's important because a lot of people, they'll be like, "Oh, this person is a nothing," and I'm like, if you have to learn how to, excuse that right there, you have to learn how to see things before they come and to be able to get them, because guess what? Once somebody blows up and now they're on the waiver wire or they're too deep in the draft, now you can't snatch them up, you know, and place them on your team. Again, like we did Elijah Moore last year. You know, I drafted Elijah Moore in all three of my teams. Granted, you know, sometimes you can't hold on to him, but then when you play him on that game and he blows up when nobody else knew it, that's when it feels good. This is the story of Cecil Shorts. Cecil Shorts was a wide receiver for Jacksonville Jaguars early in his career. And I'm here in Florida. I'm from Orange Beach, Florida, right by Daytona Beach. And as a fantasy football advocate forever and a day, I like to go into Jacksonville games and some Tampa games to actually see my fantasy football players if they're playing in Tampa, if they're playing in Jacksonville. So the thing is, back in 2013, that was the year I won actually. I drafted Cecil. I picked up Cecil Shorts on a waiver. He hadn't done much, but just had some targets or something. And in that league, you had to play 3 wide receivers, mandatory 3 wide receivers, and it was a standard scoring. That was back then. And before PPR started popping off. And I played him just on a good feel. And went to Jacksonville, and middle of the second quarter, he caught like a little, almost like a slant or something by the sidelines. And I forgot who was throwing the ball. And he broke a tackle and ran up the doggone sidelines. It was like a 60-yard touchdown. And I was going crazy. He was in my lineup and everything, and I was like, "Oh God, I love you, Cecil. I love you." Know, because you know when you're in the stands and stuff, you're talking to people and you're telling people who you got on your fantasy teams and stuff like that. And even though Jacksonville got a sorry freaking team, they always had a great fan base. You know, it's always fun up in there. So I always had fun every time I went to one of the games. So one time, I went to a Jaguars San Fran game, and it was 6-9, all field goals, and it was cold as hell. I think it was just like the year 2000 or something. God, it was miserable. But I was like, "Oh, I love you, Cecil, I love you." People was giving me high fives because I had to put them on my fantasy team and I started them, and it was a great time. And back here, something happened on my timeline today. I want to be able to show you, so I pull it up on, and I'm showing it here on the screen. This is Cecil Shorts. This is me. And they had like this Jacksonville Jaguar thing at the mall where we're promoting Jacksonville Jaguars to come out for the next season and everything. Tony Baselli was out there. You guys remember Tony Baselli, the offensive tackle. It was Tony Baselli. I think it was a defensive person. And there was Blaine Gabbert and again, Cecil Shorts. And they were sitting at the table by this platform here. And so we were all in line and we had our paper and stuff. And to me, I went out there to show my respects and give my flowers to Mr. Cecil Shorts III for helping me acquire a Fly Like an Eagle fantasy football title that year. You know, so I went out there. I think me and my homeboy was out there, a couple guys, and they were just out there just for me to do my thing. So I went there and saw Cecil and everything, and I started talking to him. Now, I waited towards the end of the line so there wasn't many people back there. And he was like, I got my paper, and I had him sign it. And I was already talking to him before, seconds before I really should have been talking to him. And I told him that he had helped me win my championship, the previous season, and told him that I was at the game, and when he caught this, the 60-something yard touchdown pass, and he was saw how geeked up I was, and I just wanted to pay my respects to him. And he signed the paper, right? You see right here, Cecil Shorts, number 84. But when he signed it, I was still talking to him, and he slid the paper over to Blaine Gabbert, right? So I was like, I just wanted him to sign it. But he slid it over to Gabbert to the right, and I was kind of, because I didn't want Gabbert scrub behind to sign the paper. I didn't want him to mess up the paper. And he's like, but it was like, yeah, all right, go ahead and sign it. And it was very awkward because it's obvious I didn't want him to sign it. So it was an awkward moment, and I didn't care, really, to be honest with you, because I was here there for Cecil. Who the hell would go see Blaine Gabbert? Who the hell did he ever help? So this is like June 7, 2013, and this is on my Facebook page. I put, well, guess who went out to Volusia Mall? That's the mall in Daytona. It's not called Volusia Mall anymore. This evening for the Jacksonville Jaguars meet and greet. This evening. Yep, yours truly. Personally met Mr. Wide Receiver Cecil Shorts and personally thanked him in his part for helping the Prophet to his unprecedented third fantasy championship. Mind you, I had won again, so that was 4 championships. This was the third, but I won again because nobody in my league ever won 4 championships except me. One guy did win a third, though. He was my arch nemesis, my own boy, Dre. So I said, for my unprecedented third fantasy championship, he laughed. Blaine Gabbert devalued the autograph, but hey, I can live with that. Vote the Prophet in 2013. Sent it to a lot of people, even people that I was in my league and stuff like that. And it just was one of those things that happened to me in fantasy football that I met someone that was actually somebody that really I benefited from fantasy football and was able to talk to, let them know I appreciated it, shook my hand. I'm sure we've all met football players, but have you guys ever met anybody that you actually had on your fantasy football team? Or have you had any intimate discussions or lengthy discussions with anyone that was in the NFL? If so, let me know in the comments. I've talked to a nice handful of guys, but this experience right here with Cecil Shorts was one of my most memorable because I won a championship from it. I picked him up like, I don't know, maybe week 4 or week 5. He ended up being like a high-end wide receiver 2, or something like that. Probably in between range of 13 to 15 or something. And to be able to pick that up off of I will probably go back and check that and just see. But that was back in 2013 season. That was Cecil Shorts. That's your boy. You know what I'm saying? Me, and this is him. It probably was this game. You know what I'm saying? It would have sliding out on the Colts. But at the end of the day, this is Cecil Shorts, and that was my Cecil Shorts moment, my fantasy football moment highlight. And every once in a while, I'm going to drop you guys some highlights or just certain things that happen, good or bad, just like I told you guys the last video about me breaking the TV when I had Big Ben Roethlisberger on my team, and I just threw it and broke my pads on TV. So, I have so many things. I've broken lamps. Oh, that's another story. I don't know how the hell that happened. And but yeah, they won't let me live it down to this day. But fantasy football, man, make you laugh and it can make you cry. Speaking of Cecil Shorts, breakout wide receiver that nobody's thinking, like, who do you guys think can be a breakout wide receiver this year? Breakout that nobody sees coming, that'll likely probably go undrafted. Let that be the caveat. It's harder for those type of things to happen nowadays because back from when things were 2012, 2013, people now can see these opportunities and stuff that wide receivers may have. But who is a breakout wide receiver that you would like on your team and who you see that can step up and be a fantasy asset that a lot of people are not thinking about? Let me know in the comments. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Press like, subscribe if you're new, and comment at the bottom. Let me know who you think. Breakout wide receiver. Let your boy know. Flawless Fantasy Football.